Hello guys, welcome back to the show. So exciting stuff today because I'm going to talk to you and preview Scentxplore 2020, and I'm going to talk about my top 3 Max Forti inspired fragrances because he's the man behind Scentxplore 2020. This is a really great event. It was a superb thing that I wasn't at last year. This year, it's actually got to be virtual for obvious reasons. We can't all go out to the States to be there, but we're going to have a really exciting event. More on that coming up in just a moment. Before that, I just wanted to share with you a quick clip from my other channel that I do, Football's Glory Days. This is a channel where I share with you some memories and information about the golden era of football back in the 1970s and 80s here in the UK. And this week, we had an exclusive anonymous interview with one of the UK's most notorious football hooligans. Here's a clip.
We had an away game with West Ham back in 1985. And, we went up there. We knew all their top boys was going to be there. And I phoned up their top boy. I said, we'll meet you outside the ground about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now they've turned up like, usual they come up there, they got like Stanley knives, they got fucking snooker balls in socks, all that box. And our lads got out the back of the van. We were loaded up with biscuits. I had a packet of bourbon biscuits. My mate had a packet of ginger nuts. They themselves right off, didn't they?
Okay, so Scentxplore 2020 is on December the 5th. That's a Saturday, 2020. It kicks off at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 6 p.m. for us here in the UK. It's going to kick off with a welcome and intro, as we can see there, for about 15 minutes. Then at 1:15 p.m. their time, we've got brand presentations. And this is a fun part, the music performances. So a lot of the people involved actually play musical instruments. I'm sure you've seen Carlos the Brooklyn Fragrance Lover and many of the other guys that do musical stuff on their channels. And guess what? There's even a Mr. Smelly rap going to be involved, in which many of the other participants get a good roasting from me, and even Captain Sensible makes a performance in the rap. So it could be worth turning up just for that, really, couldn't it? At 6:15, we have got Scent Exploring. That goes on for 2 hours. So these are the virtual booths where you can actually visit and kind of interact with the brands that are there. I think that'll be a really fun part of this. A great and unique new thing that they're doing there. At 8:15 their time, which is kind of really early hours in the morning over here, so who knows if I'll just stay up late with the aid of coffee or, more likely, alcohol. It could get interesting. We've got the panel, of which I'm one of the illustrious speakers, and let's just tell you the other speakers on the panel then. We have Master Perfumer Cecile Zarokian, Darius Alave, a great writer on perfumes, Buck from Big Beard Business, Kristen Capolino, Joe Sent Me is going to be there. The legend himself, the fragrance guru, Mark Robes08. Chris from Fragmental, a fellow UK reviewer. Of course, the legend, Carlos Brooklyn Fragrance Lover. Justin from Stay Fresh Productions. Andrea Charles, also a great musician and singer. Stephen from Red Adolescence. Josephine from Just a Rose. Clemence CC, fantastic French accent. The headline act there, Mr. Smelly. And Dava from the Fragrance Bros will be there. We have Ashley Santiago from Ashley in Paris. Renaud Salmon of Amouage, Mackenzie Riley, and Andres the Perfume Man. Then from 9:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. it's the award session, and at 10 o'clock on till 10:30 their time we've got giveaways, announcements and goodbye. So it promises to be really fun. You can visit the website. There's a link underneath here, and actually you've got a link there to go ahead and book your ticket. They cost $29, and if you use that link there in the description, and I'll also put it in the comments, then that's the Mr. Smelly link, and they'll know that I sent you their way, which may justify my presence at the event. So that helps me a lot if you go and use that link to book your ticket. I think it's a really great thing. The great thing about it is a lot more people can attend. It is kind of sad, of course. We all know it's virtual this year because of the pandemic situation. People can't meet in person, but it does open it up to a lot more people. And, maybe I wouldn't have been able to actually get over there to the States to do it this year, but I can be there by the power of satellite technology. So it should be really fun. I'm looking forward to seeing some of you there. It'll be great to have some of the Mr. Smelly channel viewers. You can ask questions and all that kind of stuff of all the guys there and interact with us. So it should be a really, really fun event. And Max Forti, of course, a huge friend of mine, actually, one of my best friends over there in the States, really, because I'm not the biggest interactor, and I'm not WhatsApping all the other fragrance reviewers all the time, but Max is someone I've had a few good phone calls with, and it will be nice to talk to him kind of face-to-face on camera, and you get to see a different side of people, including me, when we're interacting like that, rather than just one of us talking at a camera doing a fragrance video. So you get to get a really different insight into some of the reviewers that maybe you watch, and it should be rather interesting. I think this should be a really, really good fun event, a great chance to sort of support our fragrance community in what's been a rough year, and a great chance to come together with some really good positive people. So on to the other subject for the video, because I didn't want to just make a promo for the event, which I am excited about, but I wanted to give you something a little bit more to get out of this video. So let's look at Max Forti, one of the greatest reviewers ever, I think, on YouTube, and I'm not just saying that. Someone who really inspired me before I started my own channel, and I love the old chessboard and xylophone era of Max Forti. I'll show you a quick clip here of his Royal Oud review.
Ladies love this juice. It's very subtle, clean, woodsy, citrusy. Up top, it's kind of linear. It's going to go from projecting and being a little stronger to closer to the.
And that is the kind of thing you used to get from Max about 5 or 6 years ago, and I absolutely love that era. So in tribute to that, I'm going to get a bit of xylophone music and show you 3 of the fragrances that I really associate with Max Forti, and which he helped me discover at least 2 of them through his wonderful and very descriptive reviews. Mostly these reviews kind of ones going back in the old days when I first found out about him. So here we go. Okay, so the first selection here is the legendary fragrance Azzaro Pour Homme, and it was definitely one that I heard a lot about from Max Forti in videos. There's no one particular video, but he's mentioned it numerous times, and I think it was Max's father's signature scent. A really, really important fragrance in the evolution of men's designer fragrances. This one was released first back in 1978. Now, the perfumers for this one, we've got 2. It's Gerard Anthony and Richard Verse. I'll give you the note listing now. We've got anise, lavender, lemon and caraway, basil, bergamot, clary sage and iris. Those are the top notes. There's tons of notes in some of these old school frags. Middle notes are vetiver, sandalwood, patchouli, cedar, juniper berries and cardamom, and the base notes are oak moss, leather, amber musk and tonka bean. So this is a true aromatic fougere type fragrance, and something of a classic, some people would say a barbershop fragrance, really a popular scent that was worn by loads and loads of guys throughout the 1980s. It's got this muskiness about it. It's got a kind of sort of sexy muskiness, definitely an old school smell. I'm just going to sniff a little bit here. Yeah, it's really potent stuff, actually. This is a slightly vintage version where the bottle design looks this way. The modern one doesn't have this little stickery type thing here. And Max, I think, has the one where you've got the round top, which means it's the proper old vintage. He's a real expert on all these vintage kind of issues. This is just one of those great kind of barbershop, old school, 80s type smelling fragrances. A lot of people think Rive Gauche Pour Homme from Yves Saint Laurent, the famous hairspray type can fragrance, the Pour Homme version, which is now discontinued too, was sort of a smartened up version of this, something based on this. Really, really important and influential fragrance. I think Max once used to say he layers it with the one. You remember when Max Forti used to do these layering videos? That was a real theme on his channel for a while, and I always thought that was a bit of an odd combination, but I imagine it probably would work. I've got both, but I've never actually tried it. So Azzaro Pour Homme, really, really good stuff. Not quite my favourite ever vintage fragrance, because I slightly prefer perhaps things like Rive Gauche Pour Homme, which smooth it out a bit. I should actually mention one of the important notes there is that twist of anise, which is kind of a licorice-esque accord and gives something unique to this one. So kind of musky, quite woody, soapy, lots of lavender and this hint of licorice, a real hair on your chest type smell. Great, great stuff. Azzaro Pour Homme, 1978. So next up, this is Max himself's signature scent, I believe, for many years, and many of you will recognise this one from his videos. It's Dolce & Gabbana's Pour Homme, the 1994 release. This is the sticker version, so if you have a sticker on the bottle, that's the one most people think is a lot better. They then changed the packaging where the label and stuff was just kind of printed on the bottle. It was made in Germany and Italy, and I think now in France, but Germany and England and now in France, but if you can get the Euro-Italian version made by Euro Italia, that's the one you want. I think the perfumer is Max Gavari. It's listed as an aromatic fougere. It's quite a citrusy one though. I'll give you the note listing. We've got top notes of lavender, lemon, bergamot, clary sage, tarragon, neroli orange and mandarin orange. And in the mid we have pepper, cinnamon, coriander, geranium, violet, jasmine and rose. Your base notes are tobacco, sandalwood, tonka bean, musk, cedar, amber, coumarin and iris. So it's a lovely beautiful citrus melange, as Max himself would say, at the top notes. Really, really nice stuff. Some lovely floral kind of accords working their way in there and combining beautifully with a kind of masculine classic fougere base. But what you get with this one is this unique twist of tobacco, which is a kind of synthetic tobacco accord, which I find is also in Versace's The Dreamer. Kind of a different scent, but a similar era, mid-90s scent. And it's a really, really exquisite fragrance. If you can track down this old style bottle, I would call it a kind of citrusy fougere fragrance. Very, very versatile, wearable, perhaps ideal in spring, but pretty versatile. It's got enough going on to kind of make its presence felt, even in colder seasons, although more of a freshie than anything else, but something of a unique one, and definitely a favourite of mine, actually, Dolce & Gabbana. I've got a few bottles of the vintage version. Modern version, not quite what it used to be, sadly. The other one, of course, that I remember, because this is mainly because I don't know that this is like Max Forti's most loved fragrance ever, but that video, I just remember it was when I was first getting into Creed fragrances, and it sort of made them seem really luxurious when he laid out the box and he had the little card that you get with your Creed fragrances and all that kind of stuff. So Royal Oud from Creed is a 2011 release that came out just a year after the famous Aventus. And in many ways I think it's a better fragrance, more interesting than Aventus. The nose behind this, of course, officially Olivier Creed. The top notes for this one, then you got pink pepper and lemon with Sicilian bergamot. In the mid, cedar, angelica and galbanum. And we have base notes of sandalwood, agarwood, otherwise known as oud, and musk. So a really exquisite, quite fresh actually, this fragrance, as is often the case with Creed. A lovely cedarwood fragrance. Pink pepper and cedarwood are two of the standout notes, and if you like that crisp kind of white cedarwood accord, does it really well. Sort of ashiness about it in a good way, not in a smoky way, but a combination of crisp wood and a certain ashy accord. Maybe that's the oud. It's not really an obvious oud smelling fragrance. It's a very light rendition of oud. I don't actually even pick up on any oud whatsoever in the smell. I'm sure it's in there, but it's playing a subtle supporting role. Really, really classy, timeless kind of smell. Doesn't smell dated, and one of Creed's absolute masterpieces, I think. That's sort of underrated one now, I think, from Creed. So those are three fragrances Max Forti inspired me to be interested in, and it was a big role really from him in me buying all of them. Let me know what you think of those in the comments down below. Now, don't forget, if you're interested, it'd be great to join you guys over at Scentxplore. Follow the link down there in the description to go ahead and sign up for that, and I hope I will see you there. It should be a lot of fun. Thanks a lot, guys. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. Bye bye.